Today's episode of PJ and the Beard, we're going to take a look at a pedal. But before we get into that, I'd like to ask you to consider subscribing to the channel, clicking on the notification bell. Your interaction with us helps us interact with great people in the industry. And in this case, we went to our friends at Zzounds and we said, can we please have the Jam Waterfall chorus?
Yes, sir.
And as usual, they said, sure, why not? So they sent it to us, and as in true Jam fashion, I already pulled the bag out. There's a little bag the pedal comes in, but their boxes are always cool. They're always colorful. And I love that most of the time the holes that are punched out in this sleeve are the same knob layout of the pedal you're working on. And then it's got a very cool Waterfall sticker in here. And it's got a Jam sticker, a pick, and maybe something else that maybe I could have read. I don't know. This is probably all the other Jam products.
Right.
So this is like the Sears catalog for those of you who are old enough to remember that. Just go through here and dog ear everything that you want. So just bend the whole thing in half.
Right. And their pedals always look great. I mean, the paint jobs on them are always fantastic. This is the 5th Jam pedal we've had. We had a tremolo. I forget what the first tremolo was called. Then we had the harmonic trem. We had a boost pedal, which I just remembered as we started this, the Boomster, yes, which was very cool. I think my favorite out of the group that we've had so far was the Retro Vibe, their Vibe pedal, and now the Chorus pedal. Layout, depth, speed, it's Chorus pedal. And then there's two little switches here. Pat, I'll let you describe what this first one does.
The one that's pressed towards the minus side is just your standard Bucket Brigade chorus. And if you flip it over to the other, you get a more wetter, is that right? A wetter, more contemporary sounding chorus.
And then over here is just
chorus vibrato.
So chorus mode vibrato.
C and V, they helped us out.
We try really hard not to do any final thoughts at this point in the video, but this is the first time I've ever recorded anything with vibrato.
Yes.
And
I needed 0 Dramamine patches.
I like this. All right, so first clip.
Yeah, first clip. This is still sort of a fledgling series we've been tossing around. And with that, I've tried to play something similar, and each time we do a chorus pedal, which always involves me grabbing the Silver Sky SE, the DLS Echo Tour, and the Tyler. And I had the star of the show set sort of in that standard chorus feel. I think everything was like at 11. And I played this.
So as Pat said, kind of fledgling series, which translates to I haven't made like a series like
or no logo
for the series or anything like that. But yeah, we are starting in on the chorus pedals. And I grabbed this Sire S7 FM.
That's right.
From my latest comparison. We did an individual video on this. And I know that we're sending this back to Zzounds. I'm really disappointed by it. So I was like, I'm going to play it while it's here. A lot of times I use chorus pedal. I like to use it on those songs where you're just kind of chugging chords. And that's what this is. So now we just want to kind of go through those toggle switches and see how different does it sound
between the toggle switches. So the first thing we wanted to do was go between that plus and minus, the standard and the wetter, more contemporary sound. So we started, I played on the Silver Sky again, shockingly, and I went to that, and the Beard flipped the knobs, and this is so you can hear the difference between those two settings.
I flipped the knobs.
Flip the switches, yes.
So that was the difference between the minus and the plus, but then you have this other switch over here for chorus and vibrato. So we left it in the minus setting and just flip between chorus and vibrato to see how different that sounded.
So we didn't want to leave the poor vibrato switch out of the game. So we left it in vibrato and went back between the plus and minus just so you can hear the difference in that setting. So you may be asking, what does it sound like? How far can you go with the speed, and how far can you go with the depth? So we're going to try to answer that question for you now as I play, shockingly enough, the Silver Sky again, played a chord progression as the Beard manipulated these two knobs.
So far be it from us to ever miss an opportunity to dive down the Leslie sound rabbit hole. And then especially when in the owner's manual it says, hey, if you max out the depth and the speed, you can get a Leslie sound. So we tried it. We're actually, this is by accident, going to put two clips in here real quick. The first one, I started with maxing the depth and the speed, and boy, that's a sound.
It sounded like an Alvin and the Chipmunks tribute band.
Yeah, that's a sound. But then I was like, okay, well, if I roll the speed back a good bit and I start bringing the depth down, I think that's kind of close to a Leslie sound. So I played a little clip. You can look to see exactly. I think I was in the chorus, and in chorus, and I think it was in the minus.
Right.
But you can look on the camera here and see exactly where I was. See what you think of this Leslie sound. So what happened is when we were turning the knobs, I rolled the depth all the way up, then the speed down, and then you saw me roll the speed all the way up. And then when Pat got done with that, I moved this down. And we were like, clip's done. He started playing, and we were both like, that sounds more like a Leslie than what you had before.
Right.
And he started playing on a little bit, and I grabbed the American Strat we used for that Leslie Sound series, plugged it in, and another tweak, just a little tweak or two, and then we got this sound, which we thought maybe sounds more so? I don't know. Right. We'll leave it up to you. But so another different positions of the knobs to get that same kind of sound. See what you think.
Okay, so in the owner's manual, when it said about the Plus, that it's a wetter, more contemporary sound, and other part of the owner's manual, it mentioned some of the artists that use it, and it said Steve Lukather. Well, you had me at Steve Lukather. So I'm like, if Lukather were to play this, which I am not, he would probably have it on the more modern sound, probably something that sounds like a giant rack mount. So I kind of set this to the more modern sound. I had the Echo Tour delay maybe a little longer, and I grabbed the Blues Disorder to add just a little. I had it on the hybrid setting of the OCD tone and the blues driver on the drive side. And I looked, they kind of like go together color-wise, color scheme. They sound great, look great. Let's see how they sound. So earlier in the video, I kind of foreshadowed a little bit that I played it on the vibrato side. I think this is the first time I've ever done that. Right. Maybe. Normally you would end up being on the vibrato side of something. Normally the vibrato side of a vibe pedal. Right. That's true. So on the vibrato side, and I really like the sound of it. I was using this Les Paul Class 60s Classic on the neck pickup, and I don't just check it out. But there's spots where it hangs, where it's open, and you can hear it kind of doing its thing in the back. I thought it was really cool.
that's the clips knob turning we have tonight on the Jam Waterfall. Final thoughts?
As in most final thoughts, I wish I had more descriptive words because I don't know that my vocabulary is as robust as it should be.
Transparent.
Yes, that's right. That's right. A bucket brigade chip, the magic chip in here. But I have to do the obligatory. I liked it. I did like it. And I've played quite a few chorus pedals over the years. I started playing guitar in the mid-'80s, so it's almost like a rite of passage. And then some of the ones that we've gotten in here and some of the ones that have wound up on our boards are pretty nice. So I just didn't know what to expect. And I thought it was really nice. The way the depth and the speed interacted with each other, you could get like a really fast speed, and just by turning that depth down, it's sane. And the other way around, you could get a really slow speed and turn up the depth to make it dramatic. Mm-hmm. And then I really like this switch where just kind of like, I don't want to say pedestrian because it sounds good, but the pedestrian thing and then the more button. And it opened it up and sounded very different on the other side. And then I didn't really do anything on the vibrato side, but what I heard, I liked. So, it's not a forgotten part of the pedal. We're not playing emu and shoegaze and all kinds of stuff. Right. So what are you gonna do with a vibrato? But you did a great job with that. I liked it. Jam stuff is great. It's always easy on the eyes. It's very creative, and I think they did a great job with that one. I can see why it's so popular. It's not a new pedal, right?
It's not. No, and like guys like John said, listen to John Scofield. Mm-hmm. And so why? I mean, it said in the thing Leslie sound, but if John Scofield has it, he's like the king of using a chorus pedal to sound like a Leslie pedal. Mm-hmm. He's really good at that. So my thought, I mean, I'm surprised I like the vibrato side so much. The chorus sounded great. And I have to admit, I'm not like chorus and tremolo are more past things. Mm-hmm. But I like them. And, sometimes I struggle with, I don't even know what I'm saying at this point, right? I don't know. I have a chorus pedal on my board, and I really like it. And I think what I'm trying to get out without saying it is, it's another chorus pedal. They're all going to sound kind of the same. But I think kudos to Jam, because I'm like, is it just going to be like a Boss CE or whatever it is? What's the big...
The CE1 is the original, and the CE2 is the smaller one that everybody likes.
Right. It's just going to be like another kind of clone of that. And whether it is or not, it sounds great. And I feel like it's different. It has its own thing for some of the other chorus pedals we played, especially with that really usable vibrato side. Mm-hmm. That tripped me up. So that's where I'm at. Good job, Jam pedals. A big shout out to Zzounds for sending it over. Thanks for taking the time to watch. If you hit the subscribe button, notification bell, like button, any of that stuff, that's what those interactions with the channel is what help us. It's what helps us interact with great people in the industry so we can bring you cool stuff. And with that, we appreciate that. And so with that,
I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard. Everybody, no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear. And all I can think of is the Help by the Beatles. I need somebody help. Or don't go chasing waterfalls. You choose.